So an example of this is the Pita Pit story. John was a bicycle delivery guy for Pita Pit in the U District in the summer of 2008, last year. And Pita Pit withheld nearly 20% of John's pay for taxes, they said. And then tax time came around months later, and they said that they hadn't withheld anything. So they gave him almost a 20% pay cut with this little strategy. So around tax time of this year, John joined the Seattle Solidarity Network and he asked for support. So we started out with a demand delivery action. Basically, a bunch of us went in and delivered a letter to Pita Pit management saying, here's what you did wrong. You owe John $450. You need to pay up within 10 days or else we will take further action. And then, we give them a link to our website so they know what further action means. And so here we all are, looking mean outside of Pita Pit. Time passed, and the deadline was up, and they didn't give in. And so then picketing began. So we went to Pita Pit to ask customers to not eat there. So we were prepared to do pickets there at lunchtime, which is prime time for them in the University District, with all the students coming to eat, every Tuesday and Thursday forever until they gave in. That was our plan. And the boss came out and said, you can't be here. And we said, yes, we can. And he said, okay, you can be here, but you can't have those signs. And he tried to take away my sign from me. I said, yes, we can. And he said, okay, I'm calling the cops. And we said, fine, call the cops. And so the cops spent the most time talking to him, saying, yes, they can. And so we stayed, and the owner went back in and lived with it. But he didn't give in that day, so then we came back on the Thursday, and we had more people, so we were escalating. And the owner called John in and said, you guys really have to go, and you're killing my business. And so John came out, and we were like, yes, thanks, guy. And then he called John in again, and he said, okay, I'll give you half the amount. I'll give you $225. And John came out and said, what do you guys think? And we said, well, does that feel like a victory to you? And he stayed out. He said, no way. So he stayed out, and then finally the owner came again and called him back in, and John came out holding this check, victory, and then he cashed the check, and here we have a very happy John. So we say, join SeaSol, he did.